So for this tutorial, I want you to imagine that we've knit a hat on our circular needles. So we've knitted all of this in the round, and now we're coming to the part of the pattern where we need to shape the crown with our decrease stitches. And if I show you on this hat, all of these are our decrease rounds we've used to shape the hat. So if I take my circular needles, you have to imagine that this is all our knitted hat. We're at the top of the crown, and our pattern is now begin the shaping part. So most patterns will say something like knit 12 stitches, knit 2 together, knit 12 stitches, knit 2 together for an entire round. Then the next round will be knit a round. Then the next round will be knit 11 stitches, knit 2 together, and so on, so that we're decreasing our stitch count. Now your pattern might tell you to place stitch markers, or it might not. And my advice would be I always place stitch markers when I'm doing a decrease, just so as I don't get confused. So if the pattern tells us to knit 12 stitches, I haven't actually counted how many stitches I've got on my needles, but it will have all been calculated for you in the pattern. So I'm going to knit 12 stitches. So I'm just about to do my 12th stitch, knit 2 together, and now you place a stitch marker. And I always use a different colour to the one I've used that's beginning and end of rounds. So there's my stitch marker. So now I'm going to knit another 12 stitches. So this is my 12th stitch, knit 2 together. And then I place a stitch marker. Again, nothing to stop you from using the plastic stitch markers, purely personal choice. So if I finish that round, and we'll come and take a look at why we've added those stitch markers. So I've done the round that told me to knit 12 stitches, knit 2 together, and then I've done the round that then said to just knit. So this is the knit row I've just finished. So we're now starting the round that tells us to knit 11 stitches, knit 2 together. But what if I'd put my knitting down and then had lost my place as to how many stitches I'd already decreased? Because I've placed these stitch markers, I don't really need to worry too much. I know that once I get to 2 stitches before my stitch marker, I have to knit those 2 stitches together. So I'm not guessing, oh, I think I did 12 in the previous one. So I'm doing 1. So I'm just about to do my 11th stitch. And then knit 2 together. Even if you put your work down in the middle of a round, you're still going to know that once you get to 2 stitches before your stitch marker, you have to knit those 2 together. So that's just a little tip on keeping your place when decreasing the crown of a hat.